Italian Portland is dedicated to raising awareness of Italian culture and its influence in the world through cultural events, education, and service.
Italy never truly leaves our hearts. And now let's hear from Grazie Solazzi, who's going to show us how to make the perfect tiramisu.
Russo Hamilton, and I'm on the board of directors at Italian Portland. We are so lucky to have Grazia. We're welcoming her back to Portland. Some of you probably know this. I would like to, if you don't mind, just take a second to read her bio so you can hear a little bit about her. Grazia's career has focused, and forgive me, I'm going to read, has focused on food. She started writing articles for the Italian magazine Food while studying business and economics at the University of Parma in the Emilia-Romagna region. This area is a culinary heaven named the Food Valley because it's home to delicacies such as prosciutto di Parma and Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. She stayed for 10 wonderful years. Later, she lived in Amsterdam and Milano, where she earned a master's degree in journalism. Grazia has also worked for websites and has freelanced for food and travel publications such as Food. Grazia moved to Oregon in 2001 and spent the better part of 17 years in Portland. In Portland, she was busy raising 3 kids, juggling family work, and getting dinner on the table quickly. Grazia was the founder of Scuola Italiana di Portland, our one and only Italian language school that is still flourishing today. And she served on the board of directors as president for 11 years. Grazia feels blessed to have lived in Portland, a city enthusiastic about food. She now lives in Lerici, Italy, a coastal village close to the Cinque Terre. It's a 1-hour drive from Parma and Florence, where she is able to enjoy the authentic Italian flavors that she hopes to share through her app and food blog. Cook with Grazia. She looks forward to cooking with you. So I would like to mention Grazia's app, Cook with Grazia. You can download on your phone, and then you have access to everything she does, not just her tiramisu. So yeah, I would like to turn this over to Grazia. We might as well get started right away. And if you could keep your microphones, please keep yourself muted. Put your questions in the chat. We'll monitor the chat. And we can also ask Grazia questions at the end. We're also recording, so we will put this on our YouTube channel for later viewing. And I hope I didn't forget anything. I think that's everything.
Yeah,
and I'll turn it over to Grazia. Thank you for being here. Oh, and she's up very early. I did want to mention it's Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. for Grazia, so we're very grateful to you.
Thank you. So I'm calling you from the future in a way, because it's 5 in the morning for me. So and I get this for breakfast. You probably have this as a dessert tonight, but okay. So right now I am preparing coffee, which is the first thing that you have to do to make this tiramisu. The coffee doesn't, I mean, it's better if it's not too hot. So I just prepare about a cup of it. Sorry, I'm leaving your screen. And then I have a shallow plate where I will place the coffee. And I'm gonna prepare more because we need a couple of cups, more or less. I don't know if you are ready with your ingredients already, but I have prepared here the ingredients that then are needed for the tiramisu, which are really simple. You need some finger cookies. My recipe asks for 24 cookies for this particular amount of ingredients. But the recipe is really easy. Once you start making it, you will, adjust yourself in terms of quantity. What I'd like to mention is that you need to be careful with the sugar because the coffee we are using is without sugar. And so it kind of toned down the amount of the sweetness of the sauce. So you will prepare a sauce which is sweet, and it's sort of linked to a certain amount of coffee and cookies, like of unsweetened coffee and cookies. So, for example, I am going to use this plates for the tiramisu, but you can use other containers as well. You can use like transparent ones, which are really nice if you want to make portions. And there, if you are going to use less cookie with coffee, you may want to use a little less sugar in your sauce, because otherwise it might be too sweet. For example, I am going to show you, sorry, I'm leaving your screen again. I'm going to show you a couple of containers. Sometimes you can use glasses or small, or even, glass container like this. And the tiramisu is actually wonderful because it's a layer dish and you can see all the layer throughout. So it's really nice in glass containers. Okay, so I am making my coffee. Meanwhile, and we can start with the preparation of the sauce. So what we need to do is we need 4 eggs, large eggs, and we need to separate the yolks from the whites. And so we are going to use 2 different bowls, prep bowls. How is the weather in Portland?
Well, right now it's a little rainy.
Yeah.
It's rainy.
Yes, it's a little wet.
It's been kind of rainy here too. So yeah, it's not being, the usual nice, but yesterday was a nice day and it was a nice break, but today is gloomy again. So nothing special here. So I'm separating the egg yolks from the whites, and it's better. Because we will beat the whites and have like very very firm. It's better to have them room temperature if you can. Otherwise, it's not a big deal, quite frankly. But if you have them room temperature, it's better. Okay. So I'm done with the coffee. And I will set this aside to chill a little bit. And then we can use a hand device, or you can also use like a, you know, KitchenAid stand mixer, or both. To make things really quick, you can use the stand mixer for beating the egg whites, and the other hand device to do the sauce here. Actually, you know, so you can see, I'm not going to use a lot of devices. I'm just using the hand one. So I will, because when you beat the egg whites, it has to be, the attachments need to be clean, because otherwise it wouldn't work. So I'm gonna use only the hand device, and I'm going to beat the egg whites first, so I can later use the same attachments to make the sauce, so I don't have to clean them in between. Otherwise, if you beat the egg yolks first with the sugar and the mascarpone, then you will need to wash your attachments before doing the egg whites. So I'm gonna do this first. And it's gonna take a while, so bear with me for the noise.
Grazia, when you were in Portland, you did an episode on AM Northwest with your tiramisu, correct?
Yes, I did that. Yes, I did a couple of episodes actually. I went there for the tiramisu. I went there another time for the torta di rose. It's the rose cake.
Okay.
It's sort of a, yeah, it's a baked cake that has a lot of, it's a nice shape that look like roses next to each other. And yeah, so, and I went there another time, actually 3 times, and I went there another time for making like a quick pasta. Yeah, it was fun actually.
That's neat, yeah.
So sorry for the
Grazia,
noise and everything. Yes.
no, there's a question in the chat about is the coffee espresso?
It's actually espresso.
Is it espresso
yes.
coffee?
I mean, it's it needs to be strong. It can be Americano as well, or you know, like American coffee, but it needs to be strong. So yeah, espresso is better.
Okay.
You want to taste the coffee really well.
Okay.
There's another question asking, where is the tiramisu from? In essence, what region?
Okay, so the tiramisu is from Treviso, which is a city in the northeast of Italy. It's close to Venice. It's only like 30 miles from Venice. And we used to, I mean, the literal translation is, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The literal translation is actually pick me up. So now it's almost done. As you can see, it's pretty firm. So, and we can place this aside. So it's from Treviso, and it's there is a tradition in Italy of feeding the children and the elderly people with eggs mixed with sugar, and it's a little pick me up that gives you energy, immediate energy, and it's very rich in so you give them to people that are ill or stuff like that. And so this dessert, which is relatively young, I mean, it was invented probably in the 50s in a restaurant nearby Treviso, comes from that kind of tradition of giving, egg yolks mixed with sugar and with coffee added. So basically, it came out from that idea, and adding, the mascarpone, the cookies, and they created this incredible dessert, which became really, really famous immediately. So. Okay, so I placed aside the egg white, and now I have the yolks, and I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And again, if you are making, if you are using less sugar, less cookies and less unsweetened coffee, you may want to add this gradually. So maybe you want to add like half a cup first, and then taste it, and add more if you want more, because you will need to like the sauce without tasting it with the cookies and coffee, so it's not too sweet. I'm going to add everything because I'm going to use the 24 cookies, and we are going to beat this again. And we are going to mix it until it's pale yellow and kind of foamy. And this is like a lower speed compared to the egg white. The egg white, you do it at the maximum speed, whereas this one is, the lowest setting. As you can see, it changed color and it becomes foamy and light yellow.
Grazia, there's a question about the egg whites. Are they whipped to be soft peaks or hard peaks?
Hard peaks.
Eggs.
Hard peaks.
Hard peaks. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then I'm going. Yeah, sure. So to this, to the eggs and sugar, I'm gonna add the mascarpone. So the recipe calls for a container. In the US, usually the container is 8 ounces, or sometimes you can find the imported one, which is 250 grams. And this, maybe it's a tablespoon more than 8 ounces, but more or less that's the size of the container, both for America and for Italy. And I'm going to look for a spatula. Sorry, I'm going to look for a spatula. And any brand works, really, as soon as it's mascarpone.
We had a question in the meantime asking how far away from Cinque Terre do you live?
Not very far, actually. By boat, it takes, 40 minutes. By car, it takes more than an hour because it's easier to reach them by boat if it's a nice day, of course, than it is by car. The name Cinque Terre means literally five lands because they are not really well connected. They are sort of 5 villages nested into the on the beach, and they are surrounded by mountains. So when you go there, you have to kind of cross the mountains. There are roads, but they are, all curvy, and it's a little complicated to get there. So the best way is actually by boat. And I can actually see from my house. I can right now it's still dark, but maybe next time we can connect in a time where it's there is sunshine, or it's not so dark. And from my house, I see Porto Venere, which is the first village after which there are the Cinque Terre. So wow. I can almost see them from my house. So now I am mixing the mascarpone with the same hand attachments and the same hand mixer with the egg and the sugar. Again, lowest setting, otherwise you're going to have half of the sauce on you, basically. And now I'm turning on a little bit the speedness, so I'm raising the speed a little bit. So everything is really well mixed together. The mascarpone can have some lumps because it's harder than the egg mixed with the sugar. So you want to be careful that there are no lumps left. So. Okay. And I will say we are basically almost ready with the sauce. And to this, we are going to add the egg whites. I will do this later. I'm doing first, I want to start making the first layer of cookies. And so I will use my coffee here. And my ladyfinger cookies. As you can see there, it's really, really easy to prepare. I mean, there are no big secrets. And I'm going to dip the cookie in the coffee like this. Quickly, because the lady fingers absorb the coffee really quickly, so it needs just a quick dip. And then you layer the cookies like this. If you want, you can use some gloves because it will gonna stain your hands a little bit, but it's okay. You can also break the cookies in case you need them. For example, now I have, my cookies are a little longer than the space that is left here. I'm just gonna break them. And you can play with this as much as you want. I mean, you can, again, use transparent container, use, like one time, for example, I did use like a long transparent container, and, you know, it's really nice as well. So now it's pretty much done. And we are going to finish the sauce by adding to the mascarpone with the eggs. As you can see, it's kind of creamy and fluffy already, even before adding the egg whites. And then you add the egg whites, and you have to fold. So folding means that you have to kind of mix without keeping the fluffiness. So you fold like this. And of course, because this dessert has raw eggs, you need to be careful with the source of your eggs. But usually, you know, the supermarket boats are good. And for the ingredients, I mean, I used to shop at city markets. I know that now it's closed, but it's not difficult to find, you know, like the fingers nor the mascarpone cheese. You can find it in many supermarkets, including New Seasons, Whole Foods.
And to be honest, you can go to Trader Joe and you find both ingredients as well.
Exactly. Yeah, Trader Joe is another one. And you add the egg whites gradually. So and this recipe is good for, I would say, 6 people. I had a dinner the other night, and I you know, tried the recipe and for my friends, and we were 4 people, but we didn't get to finish the whole thing. So yeah, I would say 4 famelic one or 6 regular people. And you are kind of done when everything.
Sorry.
It's okay. What happened? The other Zoom link. So you are done when all the lumps are kind of dissolved.
The question is why the 2 separate steps? Is that to keep the fluffiness?
Yes, because otherwise you won't be able to beat the egg whites. To beat the egg whites, the whites, you know, have to be by themselves. So otherwise they would not make that foamy consistency that we really want. And it's important to, when you are done with the recipe, to refrigerate immediately, because otherwise the fluffiness, it's kind of the consistency of the sweet will be kind of lost. Whereas the refrigerator, you have to, prepare everything, cover and refrigerate for about an hour. And this way, everything we kind of mix together. All the layered dish are better if consumed a little later, not immediately. So if you can wait like an hour in the refrigerator, it's better. And if you keep the sweet outside, it will kind of melt and lose, liquid. It's not gonna look good. So, use the refrigerator after when you're done. So we are going to use a bit less than half of the sauce. And we are going to spread it. Here it is. And we are going to continue with the cookies for a second layer. You have to dip them, but quickly. You don't have to keep them in the coffee too long. Otherwise, it will become sort of mushy, and you still want a tiny bit of consistency when you add the cookie and kind of fill them when you eat the tiramisu. Voila. And it's done. And we are going to finish with our sauce for the second layer. And that's it. We are almost done. We just need the final touch, which is a little bit of cocoa powder and a little sit. Let me see. Sorry, I'm looking for. And it's done. So very simple, very quick, very tasty.
People are saying, I wish I could eat it virtually. They haven't invented that yet.
Exactly. Unfortunately not. I will try, open it up with a spoon so you can see how it looks like. Again, it's important to refrigerate. So my suggestion is to cover it with um, either with some plastic wrap, for example, and keep it in the refrigerator for 1-2 hours. That is when it's at its best. So it can last in the refrigerator for a little longer, not too long. So if you have a dinner and you want to bring it, make it the same day. Don't do it a day in advance, because it will not be the same.
How
And
many people have actually followed the Grazia while she was making it live?
Wow.
Let's see if anybody had the guts to do that.
yeah, exactly. Who did it with me? So here you can see how it is. Really, it's kind of fluffy, and it's how
Awesome.
you want that to be.
Nice. Thank
So
you.
very simple.
Yeah. So Antimo, do you have any more questions from the chat? And then
No, we covered it all. I don't
Okay.
see anything different.
Okay. I did want to just open it up for any more questions. Is there any way for us to see those who did it along with Grazia, to see their,
If they did it, they can definitely show that on camera and
if they want
they can
to?
open up their mic.
Yeah.
There is a question. Is tiramisu made without the cookies?
The amount of cookie is really optional. Of course, you can do it without cookie. It will be without cookies, of course. It will be just a cream of mascarpone. Sometimes yes, I use less cookie and more sauce. Again, it's a question of balance of sugar. So in that case, you have to really be careful that it's not too sweet. This is a little oversweet because it compensates the bitterness of the coffee. So if you want to do it without cookie, be careful with the amount of sugar. That's my only suggestion. And also, for children, or if you want to have it at night and then go to bed, and you do want to deal with, the caffeine, you can use decaffeinated coffee, very simply. Some people add also liquor, and you can add that in the coffee to give a little extra flavor, for example, rum or other liquor. I personally don't like that. I prefer the regular recipe, the traditional recipe, but you can try several things.
We have a question that I speculate comes from a diehard cook. The question is, do you ever make your own batter and make your own cookies?
Not the finger cookies. I have never made them, quite frankly. I make other cookies, but I never made this one. So I would say no.
Our
Not
friend
for the
Angela,
Tiramisu.
Zagarella, who is from
Ciao,
Sicily,
Angela.
she's made tiramisu using a combination of amaretto cookies and ladyfinger.
Yeah, yeah. Some people use pavesini, which is another kind of cookies as well. It's more similar to the finger cookie. Actually, I might have them here.
Some people have used
Yes, I do.
wafers as well.
So these are the pavesini. They are similar to the finger
That's
cookies,
how I
just
grew
a
up.
little.
My tiramisu in Puglia was made with pavesini, and
With pavesini, yeah, exactly.
I love that a lot more than ladyfingers.
Yeah, and I personally like the ladyfingers more, but it's a question of taste, of course. If you use this, then you really have to be quick in dipping into the coffee, because they are thinner, and otherwise they kind of dissolve. When you use, I'm going to use well, we can try it with pavesini. When you use it and dip into the coffee, you want to make sure that when you break it, there is still a little, white. I mean, it's not completely wet, because you want a little bit of consistency. And this is true also when you use the finger cookies. So that's why it's better to use coffee which is not hot, because the hot coffee is going to mush the cookie more. And you don't want a mushy consistency. You want just, the right consistency. So are there other questions?
Yeah, somebody's saying, what about chocolate? And I also would say, I like that idea. I've made it with sprinkling some shaved chocolate in the
Oh,
middle.
absolutely. Yeah, you can do that. You can just use like a bitter, like dark. Okay, so this is not the right one. Let me see if I have some. I have here. You can just use some bitter dark chocolate and use a cheese grater, for example. You use the larger holes here and you just grate it on top. Actually, let's try.
In the meantime, there is a question regarding, do you know of a gluten-free cookie that would work?
Not really. Not really. I'm sure they are out there because there are so many different gluten-free options right now, but I'm not really familiar with those. So you just,
Angela suggested that if you use amaretto cookies, they are actually gluten-free.
They might. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, probably there is not a lot of flour. I do have them here, although I don't have. Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm going to read through the. Yeah, they don't have wheat, so they should be gluten-free. There is sugar, almonds, white egg, and yeast. So yes. So these are amaretto cookies. Some people do.
Angela Zagarella do that with amaretto cookies straight from Portland.
I see. Yeah, I never tried with amaretto cookie, but there are so many different variations. Some people do it with strawberries, for example, without coffee, but layered strawberries or strawberry sauce instead. Some other people do it with several kind of fruits. I've seen many different variations. My preference is still for the original recipe. So, again, it's a question of taste. But if I have to make the effort to make it, I usually do the original one. Any more questions?
Oh, people are thanking you. And
yes, lots of thank yous.
Yeah, brava.
Yeah. How many people are there? Well, I know Angela, for example. Hi. I don't know if I know other people.
Ciao, Grazia.
Ciao.
Andrea Scassi.
Andrea, ciao, Andrea.
Ciao.
We had about 38 people signed up at the beginning, and now we're down to about 33.
I see. Okay, good. Good. This is the very first time I'm doing this, so it's really nice. It's a nice opportunity, to try it out, and I love it actually.
Well
done. We can make more if you want. I really would be, happy to do it.
I thought it
for
was
example,
yeah.
Go ahead. Yes, absolutely. So, there are so many recipes that we can do together. I recently made a lot of limoncello, for example,
Mm.
because I have a lot of trees in my backyard, like lemon tree and an orange tree. So I made limoncello, mandarinetto, which is with tangerines, and so we can do that. I mean, we can do so many things. We
Yeah,
can talk about it. Yeah.
You inspired Patricia Lee to make it for the very first time now next.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad. So don't be, afraid. As you can see, it's something really simple to make. I mean, and it's something that you can make in 20 minutes and then store it, and it's wonderful, right?
Yeah, now we can all make it for Valentine's Day. So
I
yeah.
will say that
Absolutely.
a lot of people commented, and as you were mixing the eggs with the sugar, many people commented how their either grandfather, their grandparents, or as children in Italy, they actually had often the beaten egg and sugar in their coffee.
Absolutely.
Formed
Yeah.
latte. Yeah.
I had that. I grew up with the same thing because my grandma had hens, and we would have fresh eggs every day, and she would make that for me. I was, if a very thin little girl, so my grandma was always trying to make me eat more, and so she would prepare that for me.
Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I had the
really
same thing. We had chickens in our backyard, and my grandma would make me that maybe twice a week. And it's funny when you said, make sure you know the source of your eggs, choose a good store or whatever. And it's like, you know what? I actually grew up straight from the hen to
yeah.
my cup kind of thing, and never was sick with any thing. And now here in the U.S., everybody freaks out about eggs.
Yeah, I know. It's I mean, of course, salmonella exists, so you have to
Okay.
be careful with it. But yeah, I mean, if you have a trusted source, and for example, if you take them from the hen, you have to wash them before, because they are not washed, and so you wash them before cracking them. So that's basic 101 hygiene
Yeah.
stuff. And I do have hens here too. I have actually 14 plus 4 little ones. So, and we have like out of 14 we have maybe 11 males and 3 females, because
You wake
we
up
never
very early
killed
in the
them.
morning.
So unfortunately, there are way more, roosters than uh, than females, and we don't have many eggs. And but no one has the courage to actually kill.
And
So
I guess you don't have alarm clocks in your house, because why would you?
no, and also yeah, I mean it's. So we don't eat chicken from our hen house, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, if I had to kill my own stuff, I would become vegetarian tomorrow morning. So
So will your
but
kids get to enjoy this now when they wake up?
yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
will be a different breakfast, right?
Right.
But coffee,
Yeah,
eggs, sugar,
perfect.
everything is in there. So absolutely,
That works.
absolutely.
Yeah. This,
So
yeah, it turned out great. This was so much fun.
Zeker.
So
yeah,
yeah, your app, they just go to the app store, right? And just download.
yes, exactly.
I
Yeah,
have, 'cause that's what I've done. Yeah. So hopefully I made that clear at the beginning and people got it if they were listening. Yeah.
yes. There are about 100 recipes. All of them are quick, so they are 20 minutes or less. They can be 20 minutes total time, or 20-minute prep time, and then you have some, for example, an hour in the oven or something like that, or 4 hour in the refrigerator. Like this one, for example, it's a 20-minute prep, and then you store it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. yeah, mostly quick recipes. I'm actually adding more, and so more are on the way, and I have a few ready that I need to add to the app. And I'm actually debating if adding more recipes, longer recipes, so more than 20 minutes. Because some people, for example, I had a very popular recipe on my blog, which is the ribollita, is the classic Tuscan vegetable soup. And some people were complaining that the recipe was not in my app, but because it's a longer recipe, I didn't add it to the app. But I'm questioning, maybe I would just add all the recipes, and they will be mostly quick because that's what I usually cook. I cook every day, so I cook easy and simple and quick stuff. So
you could have a category for longer.
yeah, no, I actually already do, because you can sort them out in order of length.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect.
So
yeah,
but yeah.
And we can put that in the follow-up email out to everyone, just about your app, and anything else we want to follow up with, we can put in there, so you can let me know.
Yeah, somebody was asking for gluten-free cookies. I found them on the Italy site, one of my favorite places in the States. It's spelled Eatalli. They have stores in New York, LA, Chicago, and also online.
So did
looking good, Andrea?
The link you put in the chat?
Oh, it's in the chat. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. And if people want to cook other recipes, they can just ask me, and
so do you mind if we give out your email in the follow-up? Is that okay?
Absolutely not. That's fine. Okay. I have a business email, which is grazia@cookwithgrazia.com. That's the email that I use for the app and for work.
So at cookwithgrazia.com.
.com, exactly. Okay. Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Get in there. Thank you.
And it's still dark here. Otherwise, I will show you around. But
maybe next time we can be there and get shown around when it's light.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I wish actually I can show you the panorama, even if it's a little
early,
but I can show you the castle and the bay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's raining, so let me see. I have to wear some sort of shoes.
Oh, no.
The hands are waking up, actually. And it's kind of wet, but it's not too cold, so so I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can see the village with the castle. It's not very, I mean, the weather is kind of, can you see something?
Just the lights.
Yeah,
the lights. Yeah. So there are a couple of cruise ships as well, because with the COVID now, they keep them near ports, and they don't travel. They are just there until oh, this is my cat meowing. I have 6 cats and a dog. So
how fun.
So
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of them.
Aww.
So, okay, it was very nice.
Thank
Tonya.
you, Grazia. Thank you so much. We hope you can do this again sometime. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ciao.
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 Ciao, Grazia.
Ciao, Andrea.